Hello YouTube and welcome to the nation of free to play. I'm Mr. Mondstadt and today I will talk about the secret every F2P should know about, the power of 3-star weapons. And before you guys scream copium, hear me out until the end. Genshin Impact has a wide variety of weapons that add a certain amount of attack to your equipping character plus a secondary stat. Everything is possible from HP over EM to crit damage or crit rate. Every unit has a different preference, but there is pretty much at least one good weapon for everyone in the game. The problem with that is, these weapons are mostly 5 stars. Or are they? No, and I will list the top 8 free-to-play 3-star weapons right now. Bear in mind though, a 4 or 5-star weapon is usually still the better choice, but especially for early game players or people like me who do not like to share weapons, these 3-star options are essential to know about and use for your account. Also, leveling these weapons up is way cheaper in terms of resin requirement than 4 or 5-star versions, so bear that in mind as well. Without any further ado though, let's start with the 8th spot, Recurve Bow. A 3-star bow with a surprise pretty low attack of 354 at level 90. However, its strength comes from its secondary stat, HP percent. You get up to 46.9% from this weapon, which is basically a free HP sans. Obviously, this bow is not an all-rounder though. DPS characters probably want to run something else, but units like Diona, Siegewind or even Yelan can make use of this weapon. At R5 it also restores 16% HP after you defeat an opponent. A nice bonus, but nothing too major. However, this bow is a decent option for Diona and Yelan if you don't have a Favonius bow and Siegewind's best in slot beside her signature weapon. However, if you're pulling for Siegewind, you're probably not F2P anyway. Still, this 3-star is a valid option that you get for free from exploring and opening chests, so make sure to lock some of yours. You never know who might need it in the future. In the 7th spot we have the polearm equivalent, the Black Tassel. Just as Recurve Bow, this spear gives 46.9% HP at max level and 354 base attack. But there are more characters who can utilize this stat stick. There is Zhongli, especially if you want to max out his shield as much as possible, Yao Yao for more healing, Shadowrus if you're not at 40k HP yet, Mika, Shield Toma or even Candice. If you ever did a 10 pull in Genshin, I'm sure you have one copy of this weapon in your inventory at least, and since its passive is useless anyway, one copy is all you need. If you equip this polearm, you should not worry about the character's damage too much though, but for healers, shielders or HP buffers, this might actually be your best option. Personally, I used to run my Chevy on Black Tassel for the longest time and it worked very well. All I cared about was getting her to 40k HP to get her max buffs. By now I'm AR60 and I still use Black Tassel on my Candice right now for the same reason. Her damage is neglectable, but I want as much normal attack buff from her kit as possible, so I run her on ER HP and gave her Black Tassel to make up for the missing sand. In the 6th spot we have the rarest weapon in all of Genshin Impact, the Dark Iron Sword. This sword is kinda hard to come by, so if you have one in your inventory, make sure to lock it. There are currently 2 in the game. You can get one by talking to Chen the Sharp in Lie and he will gift you one. The second one is in the Wangshan Hall cave inside Mount Lingmen in Chenyu Vale. You have to do the scrolls and sword manuals of Guhua quest for that though. There you will find it in a chest. But what does the sword actually do? Well, it provides a base attack of 401, pretty decent for a 3-star weapon. Plus, at level 90 you can get 141 elemental mastery. The passive increases your attack further by 20% for 12 seconds after triggering an electro reaction. This is at R1, but since the sword is super rare, this is what you'll probably get. Long story short, this sword is a pretty good F2P option for Alhaitham, Kazuha or Kukishinobu. To be fair though, there are better F2P options for those 3. Kazuha and Kuki can use the craftable Iron Sting for some more EM and base attack, while Alhaitham can actually use... Nah, we'll get to that in a bit. In the 5th spot we have our first catalyst, Magic Guide. This book gives a base attack of 354 and 187 EM at max level. You can get it from wishing on any banner, and at Refinement 5 it increases damage against enemies that are affected by either Hydro or Electro by 24%. Units like Klee, Sucrose or Yanfei can use it, but it is a better option on Yaimiko or Lisa and very decent for Nahida in Aggravate/Hyperbloom teams. I did not have a second Sacrificial Fragments for the longest time, so I ran my Nahida on this 3-star Catalyst and even 36-star Abyss with this build multiple times. By now I have more Sac Frags, but I'm simply too lazy to switch it up, so she still rocks her Magic Guide. The passive is useful for her as well, since I never run Nahida without Hydro or Electro on the party. The 4th spot goes to another bow, Slingshot. This 3-star weapon, which you will get from wishing again, is a surprisingly decent stat stick. The base attack is low with 354, but you get 31.2 crit rate from it, which is the value of an extra circlet. There are not even a lot of 5-star bows that give you that much crit value for your build, so this should really get every F2P's attention. The passive is useful as well, as normal or charge shots that hit the enemy very fast, so 0.3 seconds after being shot, are increased by 60% at R5. If the arrows are slower, the damage decreases by 10%. So in practice, not every archer can make use of it to the fullest extent, but being able to get so much crit rate for free is often enough to justify this weapon. Some DPSs are Ganyu, Linne, Chai, Tainari, Yelan or Yoimiya. Yoimiya is more than valid on this weapon, and if you don't have a high refined Rust, this might even be your best option. Personally, I run my Tainari on a Slingshot, and because of that, I could give him a crit damage circlet while still having 80% crit rate on his build. So I dare to say, if Hoyo had released this weapon in 2025, it most definitely would not have been a 3-star. We are about to hit the podium, but before that, please check whether you are subscribed already, and if not, consider doing so, as it would really help this channel grow. Thanks! Now, the bronze medal goes to White Tassel. This lance is a bit hard to come by as well, but if you explore enough of Leah, you should get a few of them sooner or later. It provides 401 base attack and 23.4% crit rate at level 90, which is a great stat combination for a free 3-star. The passive will increase your normal attack damage by 48% at R5, which is insane if your unit can make use of it. Speaking of units, this weapon is super strong for Xiao, Hu Tao, Rosaria, Sino or Arlecchino. It is actually Arle's default F2P option and will not let you down. On my account, I run 3 R5 White Tassels, 1 on my Hu Tao, 1 on Rosaria and 1 on Arlecchino. I can easily 36-star Abyss with my Arle build and hit over 150k in mel teams, at Z0 of course. If you never looked through your 3-star weapons, do that right now and log all the White Tassels you can find. They are, as I said, in chests in Leah, but that also means they are limited and will not come back. So make sure you don't use them as weapon enhancement materials. In the 2nd spot, we have the Harbinger of Dawn. This sword is goated and useful on almost any damage dealing sword user. It provides 401 base attack and 46.9% crit damage at level 90. But if you thought the crit damage buff was nice, wait for its passive. It also gives you 28% crit rate at R5 as long as the equipping character's HP is over 90%. Yes, that is a big restriction, but especially if the unit is off field or run with a shielder/healer, it is very doable. That is over 100 crit value from a free weapon that you will get from wishing. 100 crit value. Most 5-stars don't even come close to that. Yes, it comes with a way lower base attack, but still. This weapon works for so many units. Ayaka, Kaya, Traveler, Clarin. And it is actually the best F2P weapon for both Kiori and Alhaitham. Alhaitham does not care too much about the attack, as Elemental Mastery is more important for his build. And Kiori's damage mostly comes from her door, so she will be off field and won't take damage. Unfortunately, I don't have either of these two characters, but I run my burst support Kaya on Harbinger of Dawn and his crit ratio looks pretty nice this way. So if you ever struggle to find a good F2P sword for some characters, you know what to do. And last but not least, our gold medal goes to the secret 5-star support weapon in Genshin Impact, the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer, or in short, TTDS. This weapon is so good, it unironically became part of the meta. The base attack of 401 or the HP percent of 35.2 is not the impressive part of this catalyst. Its value lies in its passive. At R5, when switching characters, the next character taking the field will have their attack increased by 48% for 10 seconds. This can happen once every 20 seconds. In other words, if you run an attack scaling DPS, you want to switch to them right after your TTDS unit to give them 48% attack. That's a free attack sense right there. And a lot of good supports are actually Catalyst users. You can put this weapon on Mona, Barbara, Sucrose, Kokomi, Baiju, Shen-Yun, Sidlali, Lanyan, the list is long. Any attack scaling DPS will greatly benefit from this weapon, whether it's Mavuika, Arlecchino or someone else. TTDS is the best in slot for most supportive Catalyst users, or on a very similar level to their 5-star signature. So you could either spend thousands of Primos for multiple support signature Catalysts, or just refine some Thrilling Tales that you get from wishing. And if your support unit does not deal damage anyway, you don't even have to level it up, just get it to R5 and it will work even at level 1. This is insane value for any account, not only F2Ps, so if you haven't made use of this weapon yet, go do that right now and thank me later. So this was my personal top 8 ranking. Did I miss anything? What 3-star weapons do you run on your account? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, if you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye!